What's up, Dreamer Tribe? What's up, world? I am Bianca, and this is my channel. So it's Friday once again, and you guys know what that means. It's time for 5 Things Friday. And I was actually having a hard time coming up with what those 5 things are that we can talk about today, what that list would be. And it actually took me the whole day just to figure out what it was, and the answer came to me as I was playing on my PlayStation 4. So this week's 5 Things Friday will be 5 things that Sony should allow in their PlayStation network. So I know that this week, ever since we learned more about the Nintendo Switch Online service and the fact that their so-called special controllers, the NES Classic looking ones, won't really be used as a Joy-Con, like you can only use them for the NES Classic games. So Nintendo has been getting flack about that, and I figured that it would be kind of unfair to keep on dissing them for that. So I decided to throw something at Sony, and though this is a list of things that Sony has failed to do over the course of their PlayStation Network's lifespan thus far, it doesn't in any way mean to demean or to belittle the Sony PlayStation Network. So just a little bit of disclaimer, everything I'll be talking about here is purely my own personal opinions and thoughts. Like I've said, this isn't meant to sort of criticize Sony for whatever these things are that they lack or wouldn't allow in their PlayStation network. As I've said, these are just my personal opinions, and I don't mean to offend anyone in any way, especially not the Sony fanboys who are just so much more fanatical than Nintendo fanboys. I mean, one dislike for that Nintendo Switch Online video, I'll take that. So anyway, unlike the previous list, this will be in ascending order, so I will start at number 5, and that is a PlayStation Store, network store for all countries. Now, at the moment, not all countries have their own PlayStation Network store, and among those who don't have that is my country, the Philippines. And as such, those of us here in the Philippines are forced to create accounts from other regions or other countries. So we get to choose if we want a Hong Kong based account, a Singaporean account, a European account, or a US account. Now, we may be allowed to do that. I don't think Sony could try to stop us from doing that, since they aren't providing us with any other legal, although I don't think this is illegal, alternatives. But and they would want to, get our money, since we are paying for whatever we are buying from these stores. But it would actually be pretty nice to finally have a Philippine PlayStation Network store. And it's strange, really, because at SM City EDSA, or SM EDSA, North EDSA to be exact, there is a PlayStation store, an actual brick and mortar PlayStation store where you can buy everything PlayStation related. Now, I want to go there someday, but since that's pretty far from where I live, it's kind of a long shot. Maybe at my birthday I could ask my family to take me there. But if they could build like a brick and mortar store here in the Philippines, that's solely for Sony PlayStation and PlayStation 4 accessories and products, I think that it wouldn't be that hard to create a PlayStation Network store that is finally for our own country, as well as the other countries that are not listed in the PlayStation Network store collection of countries. And I guess one of the reasons why we don't have an actual store, I think I've heard it somewhere, is because of the piracy issue. And that's just so sad. Not all Filipinos are pirates. Like, we actually do pay for the stuff that we want to play or use, and it's just, even though all the other regions are open to us to purchase, it's just so hard to actually find a PlayStation Network card corresponding to that region of the PlayStation Network store, or that particular country's PlayStation store. And it's even more difficult to find it at a cheaper or at the same exact price, like finding a card that's for $50 that is exactly $50, because if you buy it here, you'll most likely get it for like $55 instead of the actual 50, and that's just converting it from, peso to dollar, dollar to peso. Number 4, a rewards program. Now, I'm sure you guys could remember the Nintendo rewards program that Nintendo used to have, but they discontinued. How cool would that be for Sony to have something similar to that rewards program? I know this is gonna be a long shot since Sony can be pretty stingy, but that would be pretty awesome if they could reward their long-time customers and PlayStation Network members with something that is actually something of a physical, something physical, and not just the digital sales. Like a pin or even stickers, notebooks, stuff like that. It's something that I really liked about the Nintendo Rewards program, even though I couldn't get the items that were being given away, since again, one of the greatest things that annoy me the most with stuff like that is that they don't ship to other countries. That is just for US and Canada citizens, or US and Canada territories. And I hope that if by some miracle that there does end up to be a rewards program, again, it's probably a long shot, close to impossible, that it would be something that's worldwide and not just for the US and Canada territories. Number 3. Now, this is something that I thought would be really nice to have for the PlayStation Network, is that I actually thought about this because of the Nintendo Switch online programs. And the thing that, if there is one thing that is actually pretty cool of Nintendo to do, it's their family plan. For Sony, you have to buy if you want to be a Plus member, you have to buy each of your accounts a Plus membership. You can't share it for all of the accounts in that is stored in your PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 or PlayStation Vita. Basically, if you want 1 year's worth of membership, you'll pay $60, I think. And the only good thing about that is that if you buy a membership prior to your current membership expiring, that they would add that, they would top it up and not just start at when you paid and renew that count. They actually extend it, so that's pretty nice. But it would be cool if they actually have a family plus plan, like that's cheaper than buying like 5 separate plus accounts. Like you can buy like a family plan for 4 for like a discounted price than $60 times 4, $300. So that would be cool, a cool new addition to the PlayStation Plus service, and if Sony would only allow that. But again, that's pretty doubtful unless Nintendo Switch online service kicks off spectacularly and Sony sees there's the feasibility of having family plans. Who knows? Number two, and this is a pretty big issue that Sony already has spoken up about, probably putting a period or maybe even an exclamation point into the whole debacle. It's crossplay. It actually started, or it blew up because of Fortnite and how Sony didn't want there to be crossplay between the Switch, the Xbox, PC, mobile, and their PlayStation console, and they stated that um, the PlayStation 4 is the perfect place to, or perfect console to play Fortnite. And because of that, I haven't actually touched my Fortnite app on my PlayStation 4. I've been playing Fortnite more on my Switch because of how it is, how mobile it could be. It's much bigger than a phone. I'm not to say a tablet. The tablet's bigger, and also because unlike your phone, and you have to add so many accessories like this one, just so you can have some sort of what do you call this, trigger buttons and an analog on your phone and on your tablet. The Switch actually has controllers, the Joy-Cons, as bad as the analog sticks are for that game. So yeah, crossplay. If Sony would allow crossplay, that I think would be such a big news. But it would be something awesome to have. Being able to play, especially since Warframe is also coming to the Switch, and Warframe is already made available on PC and the PS4. So again, crossplay between those would be fantastic. As well as for other games, other online games that are available on other platforms. To be able to play with your friends who don't have a PlayStation 4, who have other consoles, that would be pretty cool. So that's the second, right at the top two of my list for things Sony should allow on their PlayStation Network. And finally, this is a feature that I have been wanting Sony to add to their PlayStation Network. It's the ability to change your username or your PSN ID. I have mine Sakura X3 for years now, and the only reason I have such a username is not because of Naruto, not because of Sakura from Naruto. It was more because of Card Captor Sakura and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, because of that, and because I actually love the Cherry Blossom tree. So at that time, I decided it would be a good PSN ID. And from what I've seen of players I've played with and friends I have, they also picked their names way back when, and they've lost the memory of why they picked that name. And things change, our likes and dislikes change, so sometimes the username no longer reflects us or who we are. And if allowed, I would change my PSN username to the name of this channel. That would be for branding's sake. And as far as I know, a lot of people are asking for this feature every time Sony would update their system, but so far, nada. And yeah, that's all the things I hope and want Sony to add to their PlayStation Network service. But again, most of those are a long shot. If I could choose one of those 5 that I would actually want them to include to their service, it would be the change username or ID thing. Really, that's at that, and I think a lot of users would probably be happy about it. But anyway, that's all the time we have for today. What did you guys think of today's list, or this week's list? what are your thoughts? Do you guys have any other ideas on what Sony could add to their PlayStation Network feature or service to make it even better? If so, just comment below and tell me what it is, and maybe we could make another video like this to discuss all of those ideas. Again, thank you all for watching, and if you've liked this video, don't forget that thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, and to our new subscribers, thank you very much for subscribing and giving me that +1 subscriber count. And if you got any requests, again, comment section, just, you know, write it there, write it all there. Comments, constructive criticisms, advice, questions, I'll welcome them all. Well, that's all for today. Again, thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, dream on, fly on.